Flathead, baby. Hey guys, got this flathead catfish last night. Perfect eater size. And just gonna show you how I like to clean these things. It's a nice little 8-pound flathead. First thing that I think is very important when you before even cleaning them is to bleed them out. So what you want to do is find a gill and take a sharp scissors or knife and snip that gill. Maybe I won't show this part because it's kind of, you know, YouTube whatever, but just find those gills. So right there, and just snip one of those gills to bleed them out. All right, got home. Got the flathead here in the sink, just rinsed it off. I like to get all the sand off it and stuff. And now I'm gonna show you how to clean it with absolutely zero waste of meat. I think it's very important as fishermen, like if you're gonna keep a flathead, make sure you actually utilize it. It's a great eating fish, but maybe it's just me, but I think they're just so unique and an awesome top predator of the river that I rarely keep them. This is a perfect size one to keep. And my dad I'm going home for the 4th of July, and my dad's having a fish fry and told me to try to bring some catfish home. So speaking of the old man, there he is. and that just proves what I was saying right there. Like the big catfish, I'm sure I've got a couple of them up here. Make sure you let them go, right? Like these types of fish all have gotten let go, and that's exactly why the species is thriving in the river. So keep 1 or 2 for a meal, nothing wrong with that, but along with showing you how to clean these fish, this is really advocating try to let some of those big girls go. Anyways, here's the plan here. Show you how to get every part of meat from this catfish. Like with everything, a sharp knife always is gonna help. I've had this barracuda or cuda knife for a while, and I love this knife, but I've been thinking about getting a bubble blade. I don't know. I like to wear a glove when I'm cleaning catfish. Actually, when I'm cleaning fish in general, just, I don't know, protects me from little nicks on like a gill plate of perch and stuff. Always is annoying. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna start out with the cheeks, right? Don't forget to get the good stuff right away, and it's easier to just get them right now. Find the cheek right behind the eye and just kind of feel for that meaty section, and then cut around that down towards that jaw. If you ever cleaned a walleye cheek out, it's kind of similar, right? And most people probably forget about them, but as you'll see right there, that's an incredibly nice chunk of meat, and it is chewy and all sorts of delicious. So there's one cheek, as you can see right where it came from. Put that right into I like to put it into a little bucket of water to kind of rinse and soak while I'm cleaning. Other cheek, I'll just speed it up so you can see the process again. And then when you're running that knife down, for the cheek, you can go right against the skin because there's no like mud line or anything. Later on when we're doing the tail, I'll show you how to adjust that cut at the end. But you should have all right down to the skin there. Alright, now after that, the next strategy I like to do is I like to get this tail section. Alright, I save the guts and stuff and the belly meat until the end, because once you do that, everything becomes a mess, all the guts are spilling out. So to get that tail section, there's like I don't know if you can see it, but there's kind of like a rib cage right here on the flathead. First time I ever tried this, I tried cutting it right here. That does not work. There's this giant rib section, and what I like to do is I like to go just towards the tail of that, right below this fin, and don't even worry about being exactly where I'm at, but essentially just below this fin, slightly angle up, just cut straight down. Alright, get to that spine, and then just run that knife down. Alright, what that's doing is you're just cutting off the tail section. This is all boneless because I avoided this rib right there. So that's why I started here.
To get the skin off of this one, the tail section will have some more red meat, so keep your knife a little bit above that skin. It honestly just takes some kind of getting used to. So I'm keeping my knife, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch off of that. When I turn it over, you'll see I still got a little bit of red stuff. But if I would have came down here and gone like this, right against the skin, look at that. That's nasty. That's what's gonna hold the bad flavor, the fishy flavor, and the high like mercury levels and stuff in a fish like this. So keep that off there. And then another thing I do to just ensure it tastes a little better, get rid of that red meat, is I'll just cut this into 2 strips. Right there, boom, strip 1. And I'll do the same thing right here. 2. Now, if you do accidentally cut down a little farther on the skin, just trim up some of that red meat. So that was one side, same thing to the other side. Once again, kind of bottom fin right here. This guy had a little wound on him. I'll probably go right towards that though. Down to the spine, turn the knife and run it right along the spine. Make sure you cut it close to that. You want to get all the meat you can right off that tail section. Then same thing. 2 more nice tail sections. Everything will be completely boneless here. Now at this point, we're gonna get the 2 like loins, I guess you'd call them, back straps of a fish. I don't know. Either way, right along this dorsal fin, you're gonna have the 2 loins going right up here. So just kind of poke down like you're filleting a fish. Cut right along that dorsal, all the way up like towards the head. You'll feel it gets like bony up here. That's where it ends. All right, and then just like a normal fillet here, run that knife along the spine. Okay, and then just feel the bones. You're gonna feel these ribs come out to the left, and you kind of have to curve your knife and almost go along those. And you're gonna see, you'll see like I got that line right there where the meat changes color. You'll feel that when you actually do this. And bring it all the way to where it kind of ends right there. You can feel these are all ribs. You'll feel that when you're filleting them. And then cut that top loin right out from there. Now this top loin is a great chunk of flathead meat, and because it's you do not need to cut this as far off the skin. You can cut right against the skin, just like with the cheek. There's that wound that he had. I'm gonna definitely cut that out, probably from spawning or something. Trim off any meat any red stuff if you want, but these do nice chunks of catfish right there. So same thing on the other side here. Since my dad's gonna be deep frying these anyway, I really can I don't even have to keep it whole. I'll just cut straight down until I get that skin. There's one chunk, another chunk right there. One time I used this, baked it with like a hollandaise sauce. It's real good. So at this point, it looks like this fish is cleaned. Anyone who doesn't know about the greatness of the belly meat of a flathead might throw this away and you'd be wasting the best part. So now you're gonna flip this thing on its back. Notice how once again I waited till the very end because I didn't want the guts spilling out while I was doing everything else. All the other meat's safe and sound in there. And here's where we're gonna get the belly meat of the flathead, which I think is the best part of it. So underneath like its armpit, just cut down. Until you get to where it goes into the stomach cavity. Now don't cut into that stuff by any means, but just follow it up along the chest. And at this point, I'm gonna shallowly run my knife right down the middle to separate the two halves of the belly. Okay, once I get right here, I'm going to cut down that. Then back to following my knife up along this. You're essentially just trying to unfold the belly chunks. I'm now going to run my knife on the other side of those ribs that I already did. And there is a belly chunk. So see from this perspective of the fish, remember we took the loin up from the top. Now I took the belly up from the underneath of those same ribs. All those strong ribs right there. Notice how I didn't cut any of the stomach contents. If you can avoid that, that's obviously very helpful. And then for the belly meat, it's pretty simple. I'm gonna just, once again, we're flat frying this, so cut that off. You don't have to leave any off the skin. It's really clean there. You might want to get rid of this like silver skinny type stuff by flaying that off too. And these, man, oh, this has like the texture of lobster. Honestly, you can boil this in like Sprite and it almost tastes like lobster. The texture of that is just unreal. Alright, side number 2. Just kind of cut that along. Really find that chest bone, I guess you'll call it. To try to get as close as that as you can. That's the least amount, to ensure you don't waste anything. Alright, and then I'm going to find those, cut through that meat, find them rib bones again. Almost like fillet it off those rib bones. And then down here, find that again, cut through there. Voila! Alright, now one thing to keep in mind, obviously, if you are trying this for the first time, you're not going to get all of these perfectly nice pieces right away. And if you're just deep frying a catfish, that's fine. If you cut it off a chunk at a time, chunk here, chunk there, you're going to be cutting them up into smaller chunks anyway, so don't feel bad about that when you're first starting to figure this thing out. You'll see there is no meat left on this bad boy. I mean, I guess if you wanted to be really, really picky, you could fry that up too. And honestly, sometimes I do, right? I might sit here and trim some of this up, get some more scraps. Really a advocate of nothing going to waste. So that's how you clean a flathead catfish from start to finish. Cheeks, you go this order. Cheeks, tail, backstrap / loin, bellies. Go in that order. It's a great way to clean a flathead.
Hope this helped. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or any recipes that you like trying your flatheads with. And remember, do your part. Let those big ones go. They're an awesome fish. Top predator in the river. So have some respect for them and just keep a few here and there.
I'm actually going to use this carcass now to bait for some crawfish traps. Catch a little crayfish boil. So once again, using everything, nothing goes to waste.